And today we are going to talk about how to stop negative thinking in its tracks. Done. Negative thought comes, we clear it away, right? The reason this is important is because, well, there's a couple reasons, right? The first is when we have these negative thoughts, right? Oftentimes they're based out of previous beliefs, right? Like something happened when we were kids or younger, and it created this belief or this rule or this learning that we take along with us, right? And then what happens is we actually attract more of those type of things to create the negative thought, and it kind of just works in a spiral or a cycle, right? We have this negative thought, it goes to this learning, implicit learning that we had, and it says, this is why, and then we actually attract more things to us that create that same negative thought, and it kind of goes in a cycle, right? And so what we want to do, because that's how our brains work, and it's constantly repeating it over and over and over, right? And then it just bombards us so much so that we almost don't even realize how often it's happening, okay? And so we want to break that cycle, right? The negative thought pattern cycle, so that we can start thinking about positive thoughts and attracting positive experiences and having new learning and new mindsets, right? So how do we do that, right? So the first step in doing that is to become aware and like pinpoint it right when it comes up, right? And if you're watching the replay or you search this video or something like that, you probably are recognizing the fact that you're having these negative thought patterns, which is why you're searching that in the first place. If not, and you just happen to like come across this video, that's the first step, is like becoming aware of when we're having these thoughts, like recognizing it, like stopping and saying like, oh, right, what was I just thinking? Because our brains do build these trenches, and a lot of times we just have these thoughts without even thinking about it. So once you recognize that you're having a negative thought, right? Like for me, one of the things that I used to say is I would like make a mistake or do something and be like, oh, I'm such an idiot, right? We say that, like, let me know. Like we say that quite often, and I hear other people say it too over like minor mistakes, right? But that's actually a negative thought pattern, right? So when we recognize that, we stop, we recognize the negative thinking for what it is, okay? And then here's kind of a system that you can use, right? What is the negative thought that you're having? What emotion is attached to that thought, right? So like our thoughts are attached to emotions, positive or negative. Where do you feel that emotion in your body? Because our body carries emotions, right? They're connected, okay? And then usually there's some type of inner thought process, mean girl, that's happening when we say those thoughts, right? So for example, and just so you guys know, this is actually the process that we do in the Aroma Freedom, like the Aroma Boost, the Aroma Resets, and the Aroma Freedom technique. We actually go through this process, and we use essential oils to help clear it all out. So I'll go back through the process with an example. If you're interested in like diving deep after you hear more about what it's about, I actually put a link in the description where you can book a one-on-one with me to do the full Aroma Freedom technique. And this is basically where we go through and we clear out negative thoughts and memories and emotions and feelings in the body that kind of act as those barriers that prevent us from moving forward and making changes and taking advantage of new opportunities and like really like just busting through fear, right? Okay, so like the thought pattern, right? I'm an idiot. Okay. When I say that, how do I feel? What's the one word emotion that comes up, right? So I'm just thinking something like I feel shame, right? Ashamed. Where do I feel that in my body? I don't know. Somewhere, right? Maybe my shoulders. And then like what's the negative thought process around that, right? And a lot of times it's something that we've learned. Like maybe it's, I don't like to make mistakes, right? And when I do this, I feel like an idiot when I make mistakes. Okay. So recognizing that, then the next step we can do is actually you flip. Once you have that and you know that, you flip it, right? So what's something either positive you can say or what's a new belief or a new mindset, right? So for me, if I catch myself, and I've gotten a lot better, but this takes daily practice. So every, now and again I catch myself doing this, right? So you go through those steps, then you can say, I'm not an idiot, right? And really, I'm not an idiot. I am thoughtful and capable, right? And you can even walk yourself through. I just forgot. I'm just stressed and have a lot of my mind, so I wasn't focused, right? Things like that. And that's going to trigger something new in your brain, right? So instead of saying, I'm an idiot, you can say, I'm still learning, right? I make mistakes and that's okay, right? I'm human. Things like that. Like, I am allowed to make mistakes, right? Things like that. Okay. So, how to stop negative thinking in your tracks? Step 1, acknowledge it. Like, just try to become aware of it. Okay. At first, you probably might have a hard time like pinpointing the things, but as you practice, like you will start noticing it more and more. And the more you notice it, the more and more you'll find those pieces. And when you can flip them, then you'll really start to notice because it won't seem like the normal thing to go to, right? So recognize it, right? Go through just those quick steps of like, how are you feeling about it? Where are you feeling it? Where is this coming from? Right? Get curious, right? Get curious about why. Third step is flip it, like create a new mindset, a new saying, or a new truth, right? Or even like a positive affirmation that you can revert back to anytime you're having that negative thought. So yeah. So that's how you're going to like stop negative thinking in its tracks. All right. If you guys have any questions on this or anything like that, or you just want to say hi or anything like that, like feel free to put it in the chats or the comments and I'll swing back around. Otherwise, you guys have the best day.